Hello and welcome to the No Walls podcast. Today I have a very special guest. I have my beautiful wife, Phalon Grace. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
Are you excited to be here?
I am.
Are you as excited as I am for you to be here?
I'm probably more excited.
You don't seem
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah.
What are you nervous about?
Sounding stupid.
You're not going to sound stupid.
Okay.
You're going to sound great.
What do I do with my hands?
You do whatever you want to do with your hands.
Okay.
You can just leave them right there.
Okay.
You're crisscross applesauce right now.
Mm-hmm.
You seem comfy.
I am.
Yeah. Let's do this thing then.
Okay.
Okay. So we've been married for how long?
2 years and 1 month.
2 years and 1 month. How has it felt?
It's been good.
Has it really?
Yeah.
No. You didn't seem convinced.
It's been good for me. How's it been for you?
It's been great. It's been amazing. It's been fantastic. 2 years and 1 month.
Extraordinary, really.
Extraordinary, really. Do you still remember our wedding day all those years ago?
It's blurry.
It really is, though. Even though it hasn't been that long ago.
Yeah. Do you recommend a big wedding?
Oh, that's a good question. I do not, actually. If I were to do it again, and I've actually heard a lot of married couples say this, if we were to get married again, I think I would have chosen for us to just elope and then have like a reception kind of thing, like a marriage party. And then really at that, no, this is what I would do. This is what
That's not what I would do.
This is what I would want to do.
Can I say what I would do?
Well, hold on. I'm finishing what I'm going to do. What I would have done.
I just disagree.
And then have like a reception party. So you can invite a ton of people, but it's not going to cost as much money because you're not doing the whole wedding venue thing. How does that work out? I don't know, but that's how it works out in my head. And then, hold on. And then, and at that party, I would have a bucket, and just in the bucket, people can drop money for our honeymoon.
Okay, that's pretty much what we did, though. How would we get a reception that's cheaper than... What's the difference between what we did and having a reception only?
No, it would just be it could be like Nina's house. Like, it doesn't have to be like a nice venue.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be just a party, just like to celebrate that we got married.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually,
but
they have to get us the money somehow before we elope, though, so we could go on the honeymoon. So it'd be money, honeymoon, money, elopement, honeymoon, party when we come back.
Okay.
That's what I think. But just like a little get together, you know, maybe like a bonfire.
I don't think we would even need money from everyone. Instead of my parents paying for a wedding, they would just pay for our honeymoon, which they offered to do in the first place. And I don't think you could narrow your list down to people that would fit in Nina's house.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have to be Nina's house. It just wouldn't have to be a wedding venue. Wedding venue is just expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you just do like...
So you would want the same amount of people in a smaller venue?
I don't know. Maybe. No, probably not. I don't know.
I don't want a reception.
I mean, I would kind of like to just have something where it feels
because we didn't even
celebrated.
We don't really dance, or receptions aren't really our vibe. I liked the ceremony more than the reception.
The ceremony was dope.
Yeah.
We had a cool venue too.
Yeah, that was
cool. The venue was dope. I don't regret our wedding. I don't regret getting married to you.
I'm glad.
I'm just saying.
We figure out right now that you're just like, wait, I regret getting married to you.
I just think that if we were to do it again, I think we would elope. I think it would just be cooler. I think it would just be cooler just to like elope and then just go do the honeymoon, not have to deal with any of the like. I don't think planning the weddings is that stressful. I think it's stressful for 8 months. Or 6 months, or however long it took to plan the wedding. 4 months, 3 months.
We were engaged for 5 months.
5 months. It's just like I don't think it's as stressful as people play it up to be a lot of times. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot to do with it, but it's that there's this thing that is like hung over your head for 5 months. You're just thinking about it, and over the course of 5 months, like it just feels like every month it just gets bigger, like in your head, or at least in my head. And so by the time you actually get to the wedding, it just feels like it has to like live up to this thing that you've been building up in your head for 5 months. It just doesn't feel doable, you know. And I think if you got eloped, it's just like
I wish we would have eloped.
we had some friends that just got eloped,
Yeah.
and they look like they had a great time.
It looks like what I wanted was like pictures to remember. I just had too much of like a structure in my head. Like we have to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could go back, I would just like not follow the rules.
The structure didn't end up happening because day of wedding, we were at a venue where we were supposed to do the wedding outside, and then the venue was like inside. It was actually really dope. It's just, I know I already said that, but it's this big cabin in.
It's called the cabin.
It's called the
Porham or Porter.
I think it was Porham. It's called the cabin in Porham, and it's just like this. Like, how many bedrooms did it have? Like 13 or something?
No.
Something like that.
No.
Like 8.
It
like
had
18.
like 1, 2, 3 downstairs.
I thought it had way more than that.
And then
it had at least 9, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, everyone stayed the night before. So I got to hang out. We had a bunch of like close friends over. Got to hang out, have a good time the night before, and kind of like, you know, chill.
The night before.
Yeah, and then the day of, you woke up in the wedding venue. All your stuff was like in your closet because you just stayed, you know, in a room. It just felt really chill.
Yeah.
It helped my nerves a lot.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was at home, and then all of a sudden it was wedding time. But as I was saying, we were supposed to get married outside of the wedding venue, and then all the festivities were supposed to happen inside. But we ended up having to pivot to having the ceremony inside the wedding venue, like right in the middle of the thing. And so it was kind of weird because like you were like feet from the bedroom that you were just sleeping in. Mm-hmm. And you're just there getting married.
What was stressful is that in my head, the whole downstairs was going to be like circle tables and like kind of really spread out for people to sit at.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up having to be like 2 long tables, and everyone was sat on those tables, and I walked in the middle of them as like my aisle, which was fine. Yeah. But I was really bummed that we couldn't go outside. It was just snowy, and the chairs were going to like sink in the grass and stuff. It was going to be like a mess, but
it looked dope though.
It did. It looked cool.
Pictures turned out great.
Yeah, we got some good pictures.
To whoever did our pictures.
Her name's Tara, but I don't know.
Shout out Tara for doing our pictures. Yeah. They turned out great.
They turned out really good. Yeah.
So what has been your favorite thing about marriage that you expected, and what has been the most unexpected thing about marriage that you have grown to love?
I expected to really enjoy having someone to come home to and to live with you. That was a fun time. I feel like I adjusted way better than you did. Like, I was just ready for that, and I thought that was cool. And what was the second one? Like,
what's something that was unexpected that you love?
Unexpected that I love?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, mixing our decor.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool. Yeah. I was stressed that my decorations, it was just going to look like my house and not our house. But you had some cool pieces that I feel like are my favorite pieces in the house now.
That's cool.
And I love decorating. Mm-hmm. So I was a little like, do I want to give over like control on that? Because I have a very specific vibe that I want to go for. But now, yeah, your pieces are my favorite. Like, we have a big Star Wars poster in our kitchen, and that's like the only wall we have in our house, and it takes up the whole wall.
Yeah.
And then the Avatar map above our door, and then a Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man comic. Like stretch canvas thing. It's pretty dope.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I think our house looks dope.
I think so too.
And a lot of it is your pieces.
Thank you.
What about you?
So I have the same answer for the thing that I expected. Like having someone to come home to every night, is just the coolest thing.
The best.
Like
yeah. I dreaded all the time to go. Like when you dropped me off, I was like, I don't want to go home. I just want to go home to you. That's another reason I would have eloped.
Why?
We waited just too long. I was ready to live
you wait
with
5 more months after you get engaged. Yeah, it does push off like everything. It's like we could have gotten engaged and then got married the next day.
Yep.
But
also, we actually couldn't, because my parents would have had to sign for me. Because
Oh,
I was
yeah.
17. I was
Yeah.
17 when we got engaged.
Yeah, that's wild.
And it was 2 months until my 18th birthday. I would have gotten married in December if, like, the day after I turned 18.
Yeah.
And then just moved in together. Well, I actually don't know if we had our house then, but I still would have married you. We would have just moved in with.
Don't remember when we got it. So we actually live in a fifth wheel, like a camper. So the last 2 years and 1 month, we have lived together in
a really close quarters.
pretty small space, like a tiny house vibes.
Probably
Tinier house
vibes.
Yeah, so
we the shower is in the bedroom. The sink is in the bedroom.
It is.
The toilet, thank God, has a door.
Yeah.
A lot of the RVs we looked at, the toilet was kind of
a lot
out.
of them, like, you just walk through the kitchen, toilet, bed's right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I need a door because I need my privacy when I'm
That's it.
using the
We
bathroom.
adjusted really well. Like that's never been a problem. You would wake up at like 5 a.m. and take a shower and get all your stuff done, and I was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually been a lot. That's actually an unexpected thing that has been a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like, I really thought, even the first couple months when I think I was, like, trying to adjust to marriage, I think the thing I had to adjust to was, like, I'm the oldest sibling, and I feel like compromise wasn't really something I had to do a lot for whatever reason.
Made the rules.
I just made all the rules. So, like, I feel like I had to adjust to, like, compromising every day for, like, with something.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like space was ever something like I had to really compromise with.
No.
So.
And yeah, that was unexpected too. I have 5 siblings. I'm the youngest, but most of my life we didn't live together because they're so much older than me. So I kind of had like only child vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So like all my stuff was my stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had my own bathroom. I had my own bedroom. Like I feel like I've never had to share. But I feel like I adjusted pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think the space has really been
The
a problem. The only thing where the space kind of is a problem is in the kitchen. Because I think we would cook more if our kitchen was bigger.
Yeah.
But the kitchen's really small, so that's the only spot.
What is that thing? It was like, I'm trying to. When I have this, I'll start this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like never works out like that.
Yeah.
I am convinced when I have a bigger kitchen, I will cook.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think this is the exception to the rule.
This is the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
do. I really do think that. Ooh. As much as I just said, I really love living in the camper, and I actually would be fine with staying there for a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm chilling. Probably the main thing, because now we have an air fryer, so cooking, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
We're always on the go anyway, so we have to cook something fast. But laundry. We do not have a washer or dryer.
Yep, that's true.
So we have to take like this big Santa Claus looking bag to his grandma's.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's been my parents' house or my brother's house or...
Thank God for those people, though.
For real, I don't know how we would do it without everyone we have.
Yeah.
So,
but
shout out to them.
That has been frustrating. And also, we could get a washer dryer, but the hookups are in...
his side of the closet.
And it would legit take up, like, half of the closet, probably.
Yeah, your whole side.
Yeah, just to have space to, like, open the doors and stuff like that. So, didn't really seem like a good idea, but... Yeah. So since we lived in a fifth wheel, one of the things we've been able to do is put back money and put back savings so that we can buy a house eventually is the plan. And while we've been able to do that because of like the limited amount of bills that we have had living in the fifth wheel, we've also been able to travel quite a bit since we've been married.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite trip that we went on?
This is the easiest question so
Mm-hmm.
far. New York City.
Yeah.
It's my bucket list place since I'm obsessed with the show Glee. Since I was like 4th grade is when I found it.
Mm-hmm.
And the main character, Rachel Berry, she's like obsessed with New York. And so ever since then, I've been obsessed with New York and Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been on like my bucket list to go to New York City. And I really never thought it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And for our 1-year anniversary, we got to go and see Broadway shows, and we got to see Hamilton, which was really cool. But like the full circle moment for me was the person who played the character Rachel Berry. Her name's Leah Michelle, and she played Fanny Bryce on the Broadway show Funny Girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she was playing when we went, so I got to see her play Fanny Bryce in that show, and that was like the best. Like
Yeah.
it makes me emotional every time I talk about it. Like it's like a dream come true, and like the period of time is perfect. Like it was just crazy.
It was
like
super
it
cool.
could not have gone better. And on top of that, a week after she was sick, so her understudy got to play for like a week.
Yeah.
And when we were there, she was sick. Like she had to stop the performance one time,
She did do
run
that.
off stage, get a drink, and then come back and finish the show. And she still did phenomenal. Like she is the best. She's amazing.
She's dope.
Her voice moves me.
Yeah.
It's insane. She's so talented. And I just feel really blessed that I got to see that. Like it was really, really cool. And he's the best because you're the best because that's not really your thing. Like musicals, it's not your thing. And like you kind of just, I would say, fell in love with it. Like you really enjoy it now.
Yeah,
and
I think
that's really cool that you were like, fine, I'll watch it. And you seem to like have
that's
fun
how I
with
said
me.
it. It's like fine.
Fine.
I'll
Well,
go,
Hamilton was a bit
fine.
of
I'll
like,
go to New York City. Fine. I'll go to.
fine.
No, one of my favorite. Actually, that's one of my other favorite unexpected things about marriage is how many things, like how many times our interests have blended.
Mm-hmm.
So like musicals, for instance, I did not like musicals at all until, like, honestly, even when we were dating, I didn't like them, and you like still love them. But something about going to New York City and being on Broadway and kind of like getting like a vibe, like getting a feeling for like the vibe of it and like the culture behind it and kind of like the history behind like Broadway in general and like how long they've been doing those incredible shows there and the production there, and like it did kind of make me fall in love with, at least I could appreciate it more than I could before. And then also just seeing Leah Michelle, like she's freaking stupid.
She is
so like
talented.
she's on a different level. And so
I could talk about her all day.
Yeah.
She is insane.
I think anytime you see like different level talent doing something, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard not to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think seeing her do that, and then seeing Hamilton was incredible. Like the way that the whole thing, the choreography in that thing is insane. And then like seeing it, like we'd watched it on like Disney Plus before, but seeing it in person, like there's so many. Drop my microphone. There's so many things. There's so many
Drop
things
the
that
mic.
you don't. Yeah, my job. There's so many things that you don't like notice until you're in person. Like there were a bunch of like side people I was paying attention to that I'd never paid attention to before, and so that was pretty cool.
And the crazy thing is like they made no mistakes.
Yeah, not one. I was
Not
waiting
one.
for a mistake.
You asked me like how many mistakes are they gonna make, and like Leah Michelle was like zero.
Zero.
She is.
Except for that time she coughed.
She
that
didn't.
was
cough.
pretty wild. No. So
She
she
walked off
stopped the
stage.
show. She stopped the show and she said, "I'm sorry, guys. This
and-
isn't part of the
no,
show."
and she sounded like, "I'm sorry, guys," like sick.
Yeah.
She was sick, and she came back and just nailed the notes. Like she is so. She was like, "This is not part of the show. Like I'm so sorry. I'm gonna run off and get a drink of water." She ran off, and we were all like, I've never watched Funny Girl before then, so I was like, "Is this part of the show?"
Yeah, because it felt kind of.
It felt kind of part of the show.
Because she came back right before she hits like the highest note.
Yes.
In the first act, I think.
Yeah.
And then she stops right before that note, runs off, comes back, and is just like.
I'll march my
yeah.
band out.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Oh, she's so stupid. This feels so cheesy, but another part of Hamilton that made me emotional is the line, "History is happening in Manhattan, and we just happen to be in the greatest city in the world."
And you're there.
And I'm in Manhattan.
Yeah.
It was so
Pretty dope.
stupid. It was so good.
Yeah.
That's the best trip ever. Like, I also am not like a walker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to walk around. Like, my feet hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also in the most uncomfortable shoes in the world. And I could have walked around that city for hours. I wanted to ask you a question, but it was going to be leading.
It's okay. You ask me.
How were the people in New York City?
Oh, they were so friendly. I didn't expect that at all. I
nice.
thought they would be so. Maybe it was where we stayed. We were staying like.
In Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, in Hell's Kitchen, but like, so there were a few things that were crazy about New York City. the people were so much friendlier than I thought they would be, which makes sense. I mean, we weren't like in the Bronx, so like maybe things would have changed if we were there. But like we had conversations with the people next to us at every show we went to, and like just talked about, like, most of them were actually from New York too. I think all of them were. And then one of the craziest things about New York City is I thought I would feel unsafe when we were walking. You could be walking at like 2 a.m. We never did that, but you could be walking at like 2
11
a.m.
or 12 was the latest we stayed out.
Yeah, but you had like a squad of people just walking around you all the time.
Yeah, it was like, the streets were full. You never felt unsafe.
It was daytime all the time.
Only part that was a little sketch was when we had to turn off like one of the main roads to our hotel. It was pretty dark, which like there were like no street lights, but I felt so safe. We walked home after, because Ubers are expensive, so we tried to pay for Ubers as least amount of time possible. So we walked from after Funny Girl and Hamilton back to our hotel, and it was like 45-minute walk. Is that too much?
No, it was way less than that. It was like
a 30-minute walk.
Maybe 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it was like from like Broadway to like 4th Street or something. But it was not very far away at all.
I did not feel unsafe ever.
Yeah. Well, because I actually thought when we got out at like midnight, I was like, if I walk out and it looks sketchy, we're going to get an Uber. And we walked out and people were just laughing and talking, and like they're just like a squad of people. And we were like, oh, okay, cool. And so, it was a cool time.
Yeah. It was so magical, too, on our way back from Funny Girl. I think it was Funny Girl. Yeah, it was Funny Girl. It was raining. It was really cold, but like that's one of my favorite memories, too. It's just like, I've never been more.
I do wish it was warmer when we went, because we wanted to walk to Central Park, which Central Park is huge.
It's huge, and so, just to the edge of it was an hour walk from where we were
walking
staying.
to the closest edge was at least an hour, and then the other side of it, I think, was like 3 hours.
It's humongous.
So I didn't realize how big Central Park was.
We just need to go back for like a week, because we didn't go see the Statue of Liberty. We didn't go to Central Park. We didn't go to the Empire State Building. We didn't ride the subway.
We
didn't get a taxi.
We stayed at Broadway, and we went to 2
Broadway shows. We went to Hillsong Church.
Oh, we did go to Hillsong Church.
Yeah,
Hillsong,
that was
New
cool.
York City. That was cool. That was super cool. What was it? What's it called with all like the big TVs on the
Times Square.
Times Square. We actually like chilled around Times Square pretty much every day. Like that was where we hung out at.
Yep.
So,
the couples we met, 2 of them were on Broadway. 2 of them.
Yeah, like they were in shows on Broadway.
They were in shows, on Broadway before, and they were super sweet. They were super excited for us. And then the other couple I don't really remember that well. And then we met a Canadian. That was fun. Yeah. At Hillsong. He was super nice.
Yeah, and we were at Hillsong, New York City, because I'm always trying to take notes for, cool things that churches are doing. And we meet this guy from Canada, and we have like this attitude. We're like, oh my gosh, you weary traveler.
What a journey.
What a journey
you've taken to get here.
We're talking with him. He's like, where are y'all from? We're like, Oklahoma. And he's like, oh my gosh, y'all are so far away from here. And then it like dawned on us that Canada's like right there. So that was kind of funny.
We had a longer trip than him.
I'm bad at geography, so yeah, it was a good time. One of the other ways that I like how our what is that called? Not our gifts.
Dynamics.
What was I just talking? Preferences. Our preferences have mixed. Is like in fashion. I feel like fashion. I do fashion. I feel like
you've taken all the tips from me.
I've taken a lot of tips from you. You've taken some tips from me too. A couple of them.
Of what not to wear.
Dang. But like that's kind of been cool too. Is like to kind of like when we're getting ready for things. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy that. But to be like, hey, I'm wearing this. Like, what do you think about this?
We love to match.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, change that shirt. And then the other day I was like, oh, you should wear this shirt instead of that shirt. And then like that stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
So
thrifting. You like thrifting now?
I do like thrifting now.
Share what you thought about thrifting before marrying me.
Before marrying her, I didn't want to thrift because it kind of grossed me out to wear someone else's clothes. So just that was that whole thing. And then also I was like, if people are throwing away their clothes, like they can't be good. Like, why would you throw away good clothes? Like, I just thought people just didn't do that. And then, like, she took me thrifting a couple times. We've been a lot now. Well, I guess not a lot, but, like, a few times.
Like,
quite a few times.
2 times, like, with big thrift hauls.
Yeah, and...
like, a whole new wardrobe.
Not just thrifting, but also, like, resale.
Yeah.
shop. So like Plato's Closet,
Mhm.
Walls,
Mhm.
places like that. It's normally kind of more where I go, but like I've gotten some stuff at
Teen
like
Challenge, you like get
yeah,
so many
Super
shirts.
Thrift is what it's called now.
Oh.
Yeah, on Eastside Boulevard.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, I get a lot of shirts there. Like then when you're there and you get them, you're like, I don't know if these are gonna fit, but they're like $1. So
Your
you're
fit
like,
is thrifted.
this fit?
Yes.
No.
I mean,
not
not
this.
your hoodie, but your
No, these
shirt
pants?
underneath and those
This
pants.
shirt right here. It says Farmers Market on it.
It was
And
like
then
$2. That was $5. Your
These
shirt, your
these
pants.
pants were $3.
$3.
$3.
$3.
Yep.
This was.
We're doing a thrift haul right now.
I am. I'm doing a thrift haul. This was a quarter.
Yeah, it was.
It was a quarter because it was like Red Dot Day for
At Old Navy. No, not Old
No,
Navy. Salvation
no.
Army. Two parts of the military. Two different parts of the military.
That is the only thing thrifted on me right now.
Yep.
Fun fact. It usually.
Actually, this was before our thrifting days. I got these shoes at Plato's Closet.
Dang.
Yep.
Thrifted socks right there. Quarter.
No. Yeah, the only thing I won't thrift are like socks and underwear. So you will.
Oh, one interest that you have shared with me, since we've shared like 2 that I've shared with you, is Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yep.
Obsessed with that show.
It's a great show.
The ending, I was pretty distraught.
Why
Do
were
you remember? I just cried.
Why?
Because I didn't get to watch them anymore. The show was over.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
It was sad.
I
got attached really fast to those characters.
So I saw a study one time. I can't quote the study, so I guess look it up for yourself. But they were talking about how people who watch anime who binge watch anime tend to be depressed because you like fall in love with this whole world. And like you fall in love with the characters, you actually like you almost like build like a pseudo relationship with them, and then you get to the end of the show, and then like a whole world doesn't exist.
That's exactly how it felt.
Yeah.
I was like immersed in their world.
Yep.
This sounds so weird, but I felt like I don't get to hang out with my friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it feels like that. But like, cause I remember like one of my cousins that watches anime a lot, like she would go through almost like a show a week. It seemed like she would have like a new show every single time. I was like, how are you going through this many shows? And I think it literally is like the old world is gone. I gotta find new friends.
It's so sad.
So yeah, that's kind of wild.
So sad.
But it does feel like that though. So. But they have a show out now, a live action show. What did you think about it?
We have not completed the first episode yet because I despise it.
Yeah.
I do not like it.
I
don't think they nailed any character correctly except for Zuko. Nope, not Zuko. Sokka.
Yeah, Sokka's spot on.
Sokka is spot on. The only good actor.
However, just to put it out there, people don't like Aang as the actor, but he's a kid, so people need to stop bullying this kid. It's not his fault that like they didn't give him like good direction or like no one like.
No, it's not his fault he got casted when he shouldn't have.
Right.
There are good children actors and actresses.
Fair. No, I'm just saying people are bullying this kid.
No, don't
like,
bully
online.
the
They're
kid.
like just bashing
Hopefully
him.
he's not seeing that. That's awful.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, but
that's really sad.
Yeah.
I hope they're not saying like actually mean things.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I mean, if there's critics,
people will give out death threats for
act.
anything. So
yeah, hopefully that's not happening.
I'm sure they're. Yeah.
But he just can't like.
Yeah.
Aang isn't his character.
No.
I bet he'll find one.
Yeah.
He's like starting out super young.
Yep.
He'll get better, but like maybe not. Aang is the one for you, and that's fine.
I watched a video the other day of this guy who played Roderick in the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And whenever he played Roderick, if you're not familiar with the show, Roderick is the older brother of the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first couple movies, it was a different actor. So they switched actors for all these new ones because all the actors grew up, got too old for it. And like there was this whole movement that was like #NotMyRoderick. And they'd have a picture of him. And I saw a video of him talking about like how hard that was on him. And he was like he said he's like pretty much over it now. But he was like, I went through like 3 years of just being depressed. He's like, I just felt like everyone hated me. He's like, I just like, he said it ruined his acting career. So dude is like, can't get roles anymore because they're pretty much blaming the show tanking on him being casted as Roderick, which is wild. Or the movie tanking.
I wonder how they can pin that on him. How they can like.
I mean, I think just everyone's just assuming that. Like, I don't think the executives are thinking that. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, but he was like, yeah, ruined my acting career.
That's sad.
But he was also like, I don't want to act anyways. So.
Dang.
So take that, movies.
Yeah, take that. Why was he so sad?
Well, he was sad because he was getting like death threats and stuff for being not Roderick.
Yeah,
not the
that's
Roderick.
sad.
He was also Asian, and Roderick is white.
Yeah.
And so, like, again, I don't think that's his fault. But, like, because they casted an Asian dude as a white guy, but people were, like, pissed at him for being...
The recast, is it supposed to look like the original characters? Did everyone else look like the original Greg, the original everyone else?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they kind of look like the doodles in the book. So, close enough, I guess.
Huh.
But, so what's been going on in life? What's exciting? What's happening?
We've been busy.
Mm-hmm.
We're really involved in Switch right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been keeping us busy in the best way.
What is Switch?
Switch is our student ministry at The Brick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the associate worship pastor.
Woo, let's go.
So that's been really cool. The last couple of weeks I've kind of taken over leading, mainly leading. So that's been really cool and stretching and fun. I really enjoy it. It's just been a blast.
Yeah,
learning things from Ashley, which is the worship pastor at Switch.
Yeah.
So she's been teaching me all kinds of cool stuff and leadership stuff, and
yeah, she's
really
super
cool.
dope.
Yeah, she's dope.
Yep. You're the associate worship pastor. I'm the associate youth pastor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're associates. And we get to. It is really cool to get to do ministry together.
Mm-hmm.
You get to lead students together.
I've fallen in love with leading people this semester. Like my tribe, I like adore them. I love getting to lead. Like I feel honored just to be here and to lead kids. I feel like it's a really special place, really special time. I think we're doing really cool stuff. My team is awesome. I just feel really honored.
I've had a lot of those moments lately where like you're like I'm coming off stage or like I'm just like standing in the back like right over there just like looking at all the students and like looking at like what this is, and it's just like I'm just super grateful to get to be a part of this place and what's all happening.
It's
and
ridiculous.
Like, and not just like not even just on Wednesdays, like getting to be part of just being here on Sundays too.
Yeah.
Like we baptized 61 people this Sunday.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
60, like a whole church.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, and you get to see it's just cool to be around so much life change and like so many testimonies and like
every week.
Yeah.
Twice a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. However, I do think like Switch lately has just been so fun. And like I've been so excited just to be here every week. Like I don't think there's been a Wednesday this year where I've been like coming in like, oh, I really wish Switch wasn't tonight. It's like no, like I've been excited every single week. But yeah, it's been pretty wild. How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Yeah, how do we get involved? Like what? How did we?
So
were we hired from another church?
We were not. We were not. Your friend Taylor Goodman was, I don't know if he was playing the drums at the time, but he was at Switch and he invited you. And we've been dating for forever. We've been together since I was 13 and you were 15. And so we were students, and Taylor invited you and you invited me, and that got like a whole bunch here. And so I was a student at Switch from 8th or ninth grade up until my senior year. I started singing on the worship team when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
I had never sang before. And so I got developed at Switch. I gave my life to Christ at Switch. Got baptized at TheBrick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we got here in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Taylor invited us.
Pretty
We've
much.
been here ever since.
Yeah.
Like, I've never left.
Yeah.
I never honestly really liked church, like anywhere else I went. And I've been to a lot of churches, not blasting them. I just like, I never like dove in or anything. And then when I got here, just something about it.
What do you think it was?
It was just so much. Tribes, which really, I was really introverted.
Mm-hmm.
So what really scared me at first because I had to separate from you. But I did have your sister, which
Mm-hmm.
is my best friend. That was really cool. That was really different than any other youth group that I went to.
Tribes are our small groups.
Yeah.
They happen
small
at the end of
groups.
the night every Wednesday.
And we discuss like the sermon and stuff.
Yeah.
Just hang out. The leaders here just really cared about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was different. And what really, I think, hooked me on top of, like, the people here was the worship.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen anything like it. And I just fell in love with it.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things about Switch, and I was thinking about this the other day, is like the amount of leaders we have and like how many of them are just also just grateful to be here.
That's what I
like,
was going to say
there's an
earlier.
overarching feeling of like I'm just beyond like excited that God used me to do something. And like you could see it like I was thinking about it on baptism Sundays, like you could see the leaders that were getting to baptize their students, like you just see it on their face, like they they couldn't believe that God was using them for anything, much less to see life change in these students.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a really cool feeling to just be a part of something where everyone's just grateful to be a part
So
of.
much gratitude.
Yeah, it's just everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's just been really cool.
Yeah.
That
was not a thing before. I feel like
no, I feel like
the general consensus with all the leaders were like, ugh, another Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what about it. It was just like, after a while, it got a little like tiring.
Yeah.
And like this semester, it's done like a 180.
Yeah.
Like everyone is just having a good time from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like people are wanting to get here early. Like you just want to be here.
Yeah.
And everyone just feels like grateful. Like
yeah.
you can feel it.
I think there's been a few reasons why that's happened. I mean, Taylor brought on like a whole staff for Switch.
Yeah.
So like part of that is just Taylor's ability to like delegate. He's not the only one doing things now. So like more areas are getting more intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
But also like we made so many shifts. But like Taylor was the one who initiated the
Mm-hmm.
shifts, and he did them like we were doing things unsure for the first time in a while. Like we shifted the way our whole experience was done. We just keep shifting things. It feels like there's something changing all the time. And I think a lot of that is like Taylor's ability to like just trust God with it. And like that's the thing, is like we got to a spot where we actually had to step into each experience with a certain amount of faith that just the experience wouldn't crumble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think starting off the semester that way was like it just set a precedence for expectation for people to come in expecting God to move.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like God is just really on the experiences, and like there's a lot of cool stories and stuff
Mm-hmm.
happening out of this thing is growing like at a rate that we couldn't do.
Insane.
And
I was in therapy the other day, and we were talking about like people who trust really well.
mm-hmm.
And the first person I thought of was Taylor.
Yeah.
Not only does he like trust God like more than anyone I've like seen like in real life, he trusts his people so much.
Yeah.
Like this thing I feel like is his baby, and he like trusts people so much to like lead his students and lead his teams, and I think it's like really cool.
Yeah. The thing that Switch is that it would not be without Taylor. I mean, there's a lot of things it wouldn't be, but like one of the things that I feel like one of the things he does best is he will create a safe space to fail.
Yeah.
and there is no limit to how much you can learn whenever you have a safe space to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time anyone is stepping into anything, like Taylor will prep you so that like there's a higher chance that you won't fail.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you do fail, you know that like it's okay.
He's
Like
got
it's
you.
gonna be good. Like my first sermon I ever preached, Taylor and I spent like 2 months working on that sermon. And he let me know every single time, bro, if you go up there and you bomb, if you go up there and you freeze and you have to walk off the stage, like you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like also like we are going to get this thing to a spot to where like you won't even need to do that. You won't even need to freeze. And I went up and on my first sermon, I walked off feeling like just the best. And it was because this man decided like he's going to create a spot where we can just take W's. We can just keep taking wins, just stacking them. That way, whenever we do take an inevitable L, an inevitable loss, I'm translating while I'm talking. Like it just doesn't hit as hard, and like that's one of the things he's done like such a good job of is switch every single place you are stepping in the switch to develop, every single place where our switch pastors are being stretched, every single place I've gotten to step into in this last semester. I've done it knowing that even if I fail, I'm not disqualified, because if you are called to something, it is not your performance that determines your calling, it is your faithfulness that does. And like that's the thing that he has like baked into switch that I think is the reason. It's a big reason why we're seeing people developed, we're seeing people go from like attenders to leaders to pastors, like in an insane like kind of way. And like I think he just does a great job with that. But I'm thankful to get to be under that dude.
Me
so
too.
anyways, I'm gonna stop bragging on him because I'm probably gonna make him uncomfortable when he watches this. But yeah, Switch has been dope. Life has been dope.
Just love Switch.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Same.
My word for the year is embrace. And I just feel like God was preparing me for like a big shift. Like I feel like something is about to shift and be a lot different maybe next year. And like I just like every switch, I'm just like soaking up every moment of it. Like when I see a new person do the games, I'm like just soaking that up. And when I see you on the stage and you doing another sermon, like a new sermon, just, and to see a new person lead a song, it's just, I just love every moment of it. Trying to soak it all up.
It's
Embrace the moments.
Super fun time. So what's something you have coming up? What's new? What's coming up? What's something in life that you're excited about?
So in June, you, me, Taylor, Nicole are going to Dallas, and we're going to go to Upper Room, and I think it'll be their prayer night, and I am so excited.
Me too.
Fingers crossed. Sending up prayers that Abby Kimboa is there.
Yep.
She's
cool.
my favorite worship leader in the world right now. So that'd be really cool to see her. And then we're also going to Social Dallas on Sunday.
We are.
So
Pastor
excited.
Robert Madu.
Yes.
Pastor Taylor Madu.
Yes.
Yep.
If they're preaching. They always have like a guest speaker.
Yeah, they do have a lot of guest speakers.
But they're going to have a dope guest speaker if there is one. Sure. Just to learn things. Yep. Take notes. Come back. Apply it.
Implement.
I'm ready for the summer.
Yep.
A lot of dreaming is about to happen for Switch's worship team, for Switch in general.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited for that. We have a staff trip I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Got a lot of cool things.
We have a lot of cool things. I'm running a 5K.
You are running a 5K?
Yes.
When does that happen?
That is happening.
Now you can't back out of it because you said it on the podcast.
Yes, and I paid for it.
You paid for it?
Yes.
How much was it?
Like $35, I think. You get a t-shirt and a medal. Everyone gets a medal.
Oh.
That's why we're doing it. Everyone gets a medal. It's in July. It's going to be hot. And I'm doing it with your dad and your sister. And we're going to be the Powerpuff Girls.
Yep.
I'm going to be the green one because my favorite color is green. So I'm excited for that. I've been really liking running at the gym. Yeah.
You've been doing a good job, too.
Thanks.
You cranked out a couple miles the other day.
Nope. 1.79.
Almost a couple miles. Yeah, that's exciting.
What about you? What are you excited for?
I am excited for the summer. I'm excited for everything you just said. but I'm excited for. So normally Switch takes a break
Mm-hmm.
in the summertime, and we will take a break this summer. But normally, whenever the break happens, the like Taylor and I are just kind of out here, just kind of floating. Like there's really not a whole lot to do during the summer.
Not this summer.
Not this summer though. This summer we are dreaming. This summer we are implementing. This summer we are researching. And I think we have a lot of things this summer that are going to go from ideas to tangibles.
Ayo.
And I am excited to put my hands on those things.
Yeah.
And see what happens. I like one of my strength finders is ideation. So pretty much all that means is like I really like to think about things, and I really like to just I love the brainstorming sessions.
Yeah.
The activating part is a little bit difficult for me, but
I think that's my strength.
yeah, I think that is too. And so anyways, so I'm like I love those rooms where we're all just brainstorming and we're thinking about all the things that are to come. I think we're about to have a lot of those, and I think we're not just gonna have a lot of those. We're also gonna really activate on those, and I'm just super excited about that. So yeah.
I'm excited.
Yep. Well, is there? Oh, you're not done.
You're done?
No, we can keep going. Let's keep going. You have any questions?
No.
Okay, I think of another question.
No, we can be done. I'm having fun.
So you are the associate worship pastor of Switch.
Yes.
What are your favorite worship songs right now?
Give Me Jesus.
By?
So I think it's originally by Upper Room, but I've really liked the version that Bethel just came out with, but Abby's still leading it, and it's so good. Getting Ready, Maverick City, music, Abby leads it. That's one of my favorites. Dance Like David. I don't know who leads it, but I've been listening to that a lot. Yeah. That's like my order. So it's when I run, I start with Getting Ready, and then Getting Ready Repris, and then Dance Like David. Those are so. Forever Yahweh.
Who's that by?
Elevation Worship, led by Tiffany Hudson.
Oh, okay.
So
that
good.
Is a good song.
It is so good. Those are my favorites right now. I love Tiffany too.
It's a good list. It's a good list.
Those are my favorites right now.
I'm trying to think what my favorites are. Ooh, I like
Oh! One more. No One, off of the Elevation album called Lion. It's led by Chandler Moore. It's really fun. It's a really fun one.
It's a good one. I like, off of that same album, there's a song, I don't know if it's really a worship song. It's a Christian song, I guess, called
Dancing.
Is it just called Dancing?
It's called Dancing.
It's called Dancing. And it's this like duet with Joelle Barnes and Tiffany Hudson. And it feels like a love song between them, but it's really like a love song with God. And it's just
beautiful.
It's a dope,
it's like a wedding
beautiful song. Yeah, it feels like a wedding song.
And it's like, it is symbolizing a wedding.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yeah, it's a cool
Bride and the groom.
Cool song. I've been listening to that song a lot. And then there's a mashup of Worthy of It All and what's the other song called?
I Am Agnus Dei?
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Agnus Dei.
And then and that's by Bethel. And I think that one's only on YouTube. It's not on like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff. And it is incredible. There's a dude on there named David Funk, and he is a different breed. Like that dude's playing keys. He's like MDing.
Yeah.
He's also singing.
Yeah.
And like you can tell he's like kind of giving the band direction the whole time, kind of like
while he's singing. So like it's insane. He's singing and like nodding and playing the piano.
Yeah.
Like telling people when to come in and sing.
Yeah.
It's
so
stupid.
And also,
so
I mean,
good.
just the song in general is phenomenal. It's like a very vertical song, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know if I have a third one right now. I'm trying to think of what my third one would be. Those have been kind of the two that have kind of been floating around for a little bit for me. Also, I've been listening to What is that song called? Another One by Elevation. It's a new
Mhm.
one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Mhm.
It's a very like faith building song.
Yeah.
I'm always leave that one like expecting God to do something.
Yeah.
So it's a cool one. It's a cool one. Besides this podcast, what is your favorite podcast right now?
Oh gosh. Don Cherie
Mhm.
just came out with a podcast.
Who's Don Cherie?
Don Cherie is one of the pastors at TheBrick.Church in Florida. Her husband is the lead pastor.
Mhm.
His name's Rich Wilkerson.
Mm-hmm.
But she just came out with a podcast called Home is Always a Journey, I think is what it's called. And there's only one episode out, but it was phenomenal.
Mhm.
She had her
It was
dad
an amazing
on,
episode.
and like it was so good. I really like her. So I also like Mature Me.
Yeah.
That's her husband's podcast. Elevation Rhythm. Not Elevation Rhythm. Elevation Youth.
Yeah. They have a cool podcast right now
I like
too.
their podcast.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's like an easy listen, just like
Yeah, it is.
pop it in.
They have a lot of cool guests. They had
It's
so Mature Me is my favorite podcast right now.
mhm.
Elevation Youth is also one of my favorite podcasts right now
Mhm.
because like they just have like the most like in as far as like the Christian circle goes, they just have like
They have access to everyone.
Everyone.
They could ever
Yeah.
want.
Tim Ross was on it one week, and then I think Aaron McManus was on it like the next week.
Abby Gamboa,
Abby was on it,
Tiffany Hudson, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
and then like Mike Todd was on it.
Robert
Charles Metcalf
Madu?
was on it. Robert Madu was on it. That was a good podcast. I think Rich Wilkerson Jr. is going to be on it.
Wow.
He's one of the guests, I think, which is dope because it's like my two favorite podcasts right now, kind of
Mhm.
mixed. Yeah, good podcasts. I freaking love podcasts. All right, we're about to end this thing.
'Kay.
So this is my last kind of bit for you. So you went from student to leading on the stage,
Mhm.
and now you don't just lead on the stage; you lead the stage pretty much, or you're stepping into leading the stage, like the
team.
instrumentalist, the team on the stage. But also you have like you get to lead one-on-ones. You get to have like tribe time where
Mhm.
you're talking to your girls and stuff like that. And so that journey, in every part of that journey, I think from the outside looking in, people would assume that you feel like you have it all figured out. And like, I guess, like walk me through like when you were leading on the stage for the first time
Mhm.
during worship. Like, did you feel like a leader? Like, what was it? This is a question I'm trying to ask. What was it like to grow into your identity as a leader?
Oh my gosh. What was it like to grow into my identity as a leader?
Yeah.
What did it feel like? Or
What did it feel like? What was the process like? Like,
it was really scary.
yeah.
That's like a good question.
It's kind of a loaded one, so
It is a loaded one.
feel free to take some time with it.
Well, I've never had to do it alone,
Mm.
which would probably be like my biggest advice. Don't do it alone. Every time I wanted to like back out because I was scared, I had you or the worship leader at the time like just pouring into me and pulling the gold out of me.
Yeah.
When I definitely could not see it. So I could not have done it alone. I am not like naturally built like this, but I had to just push myself to make uncomfortable steps. And again, I could not have made those steps by myself. And once I figured out that I was called to it, it made it a little easier. Like, even though I may go on the stage and sing every note wrong,
Mm-hmm.
It's not me who is like saving these kids or the people in the room. It's not like my gift that is bringing them to like salvation. Even if I went up on the stage and missed every note, like Jesus can still move in their hearts.
Yeah.
So that's been really comforting. And I tell my team a lot when they're like, I'm so nervous. It's like, you put in the work and you've practiced and you've made adjustments during practice, and so you just go up there and lay it at the feet of Jesus and just worship him, and he'll do all the work. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect. Only he's perfect. So, yeah, just trying to be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And not doing it alone.
That's good.
And knowing it's not through your own power, but his.
Yeah, that's good. What was the most uncomfortable step you had to take?
Oh, jeez. I've had a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I have always loved to sing, but I've never taken lessons or anything. But like I said, the first thing that drew me to switch was the worship. So I don't even know what got into me, but I was like, I want to sing on, I want to develop my gift.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do what they're doing. I want to lead the room like they're leading the room. And so I just asked the worship pastor at the time, Kyle, and Trevor, just like what that process would look like. And they're so gracious, and they invited me into, so Trevor would have a vocal practice at his house, and he just invited me over. And at the time I didn't know I was going to sing, and then at the end of their vocal practice he was like, okay, sing for us.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, what? Context, I never sang in front of anyone, like no one. And so I sang Available
by Elevation.
That's like a very difficult song to start out with, but it was, I guess, the one I decided to sing that night. And you can ask Trevor, he will vouch for me. Could not make it through a verse. I could not sing very well. But Trev and Kyle saw something in me and just helped me develop, and that was really uncomfortable. I'm very introverted, so singing in front of them was really scary. The next uncomfortable step was to take feedback and apply it. That was uncomfortable. And then being on the stage when I didn't feel like polished enough. I've always wanted to be perfect at what I do before I do it, and that really wasn't the case. Like, they let me up there to try it after working with them for a couple of months, and that was really uncomfortable. Sorry, you said the most uncomfortable step.
You're good. I mean, you gave me two good examples. Do you have another one?
Honestly, I've taken some pretty big steps recently, and 16-year-old Phalon would probably be like, that is a way bigger step. Like, leading a team, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the more you make yourself do uncomfortable things, the kind of like easier it gets.
Yeah.
Things that probably would have just like made my brain explode, that I'm like, if 16-year-old me knew what I was doing now, like, I would, no, you're not leading, you're not speaking on stage, like, you're not doing exhortations, no.
Yeah.
But just taking the faithful step every time
Mm-hmm.
makes it a little easier.
For sure.
But it's still like uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
So
for sure, there definitely is like a we were just talking about this the other day. Like, your window of tolerance for things grows so fast when you start taking steps. Like, I was talking about how, like, I was doing stage time on Sunday, and I still get nervous whenever I do stage time. Like, pretty much anytime I do stage time, but I was doing stage time on Sunday, and there was a time in my life where me doing stage time on Sunday meant I wasn't getting sleep on this Monday night because I was doing like a couple words on Sunday, and now it's like, doing stage time on Sunday, doing stage time on Wednesday. I'm going to preach this Wednesday. I'm going to preach the next Wednesday. Shooting a podcast. And like, it's like all these things that, like, on their own at the time would have felt like the end of the world. Now, like, doing them all in 1 week, and like, I get a little nervous for all of them, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that just kind of means you care.
Yeah.
But it is crazy how fast your window of tolerance can grow. So if you're out there and you are in a spot where you feel like the thing you're doing right now is uncomfortable, if it's stretching, if it's overwhelming, it might mean you need to like take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is stretching, if it's uncomfortable, if you just keep taking the step that God's called you to, like I promise you, you will get 6 months from now, like not even that long, like 6 months from now, you will look back and you'll be like, oh, back then I could only do that and feel uncomfortable. I can only do that and feel stretched. Oh, now I'm doing this, and this. And I feel like I can even, add some more on top of this. And like, that's what's wild about like just taking steps is it's like the grace grows as you take steps.
Yeah.
It's like the more steps that I take, the more grace I have to do the thing. And so, obviously it's if you're called to take the steps, like if you're taking steps you're not called to, you're just gonna pile yourself on and be overwhelmed. But I think that is a good point. I think that's pretty wild to see. But I think you've done a great job, and I'm really proud of you. I think like 16-year-old you would be really proud of you. And just since we've known each other for so long, like it is crazy to see where we've been and where we are now. And so I'm super proud of you. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep saying I'm proud of you because I am proud of you. I love you so much. And I'm thankful you joined me on this podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
That was really fun.
I'll do it again.
Okay.
All right, but you'll come back on?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel a lot more comfortable.
It's been a good
now.
experience?
It has. It has. This was a stretching moment.
Yeah.
This was a step that was really scary for
But the
me.
next time you'll be able to do it no problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's that window of tolerance growing.
It's growing. It's stretching.
All right.
It's good.
Love you, girl.
Love you.